Afternoon, everyone. This is the Book Devotee, and I'm here to review Year One by Nora Roberts. This is the first book in her new Chronicles, Chronicles of the One. Starts out at the beginning of the new year, kind of follows a group of several people trying to survive the end of the known world. Starts out with a sickness that starts spreading across the world. Starts with nausea, throwing up, diarrhea, ends up with seizures, and eventually, within a week or so, death. But through it all, they find that there are some that are immune. Those who survive the sickness then start noticing they've developed a few talents they didn't know they had. Witches, wizards, warlocks, they all find that any powers they did have are now obvious. Fae, the fairy, they get wings. Some can vanish and look like the Rock. Elves even. But as with any culture, with the good comes the bad. So with the end of the world, you have those in the humankind who don't like the uncanny, as they call them. Want to get rid of them, want to destroy them, do whatever they can to get them off of the face of the earth. And you have some of the uncanny who would rather cause harm, hurt people, kill people, torture people, just because they can. This book follows a set of survivors. You get your main group and then a few others that are kind of brought in along with it as they try to navigate the end of the world, pretty much as they know it. You have a news reporter, a hacker, who's her source, who goes in every day, no matter how bad it gets, to report on what's going on and try to keep people's morale up. You have a witch and a wizard who are just trying to survive. Wizard happens to be a writer who writes books for a living, and the witch just happens to be a dabbler who, up until now, hasn't really had any power of her own. But with the beginning of the sickness, she and many others find that what they've had is amplified greatly. You then have the reporter's friend, who's more fae than anything, who can fly, make things sparkle and bright and cheerful and make you feel at home no matter where you are. You meet a few other characters as the book goes on, and each one has their own very gripping story to tell. I highly recommend this book. There is prophesied the one who will be the savior of all, magical and human being characters in this book, but she is introduced later on. It is the kind of book where, as you're going, you kind of get an idea of what's going to happen, and then the author just rips that out from under you, and you no longer know what's going to happen. There's some characters in here that you think are one thing, and they turn out to be something else entirely. So if you're looking for a book that has elements of the end of the world, friendship, coming together in times of trouble, and through it all hope, then this is the book for you. I highly recommend it. Do like I did, find a copy at your library. It is a very good book to read. It does have a total of 419 pages in it. If you're a fast reader like me and you have a whole day off, shouldn't be too much of a hassle for you. Some of you, it might take longer to read. To each their own on that one. It's however long it takes you. It'll be the kind of story you don't want to put down until the end. And then, hopefully, like me, you won't be able to wait until the next book comes out in the series. I am very curious to see what Year 2 brings for these people. If you happen to agree with what I have said, or you don't agree, maybe you've read the book and you're not a fan of it, or I haven't covered something you think should be covered in it, please feel free to find me on my page on Facebook, The Book Devotee. I'm also on Twitter. I'm on YouTube, as you can see. I have other posts and other videos I've done. Feel free to check them out. Comment on them even. I'll happily respond to you. Or if you know a good book I should be reading, maybe by an author I haven't read yet, let me know. I am more than thrilled to read any book that is recommended to me. Until then, have a good rest of your day, and keep reading.